In this short video we're going to talk about histograms and how to construct histograms using Excel. We're also going to look at using charts, or one particular chart as well. Now in this case I'm using Excel 2010. You may have a different version, but what I'm doing should work. This has been a long and well established set of routines that have been worked out in Excel for many versions, so there should not be an issue about the type of Excel or the version of Excel you're using. You may in fact be using Google spreadsheet or some other spreadsheet which is very similar to Excel, and again you should be able to do what we're doing here. There might be slight modifications, but if you read the documentation it should work essentially the same as I'm doing here. So we're going to look at histograms. Now to do this we're going to start with a set of data, and in this case it's hypothetical sales for cars in a particular country or in a particular region. So here we're saying, for example, that sales in 2016 for BMW cars was 87,894. And for Citroen it's 64,257, and so on. So we've got some car manufacturers here and some sales figures for a particular country or particular region. Now what I tend to do when doing this is first of all I work out how many data points I've got. Now here I've only got 13, so it's not onerous to count those. But if the data set was very large, then I would like the computer to do that work for me. And the way you do that, the way you work out a count, put the cursor onto the screen here, is you just set Excel to do the calculation for you. Equals tells it you wanted to do a computation. Equals count, and you're counting the set of data points between C4 and C16. C4, which is BMW, and C16, which is Volkswagen. You're counting this set of data here, and when you click on the return key with that function typed in, you'll get 13. So we know we've got 13 sets of data. I also work out the maximum, and again the maximum very simply done, equals max and the data set C4 to C16. So what's the maximum in there? And it gives me this figure of 266,935, which is Ford over here, 266,935. So it's worked out what the maximum value is, and it also does for the minimum. If I click on the minimum, equals min and the data set. So I've worked out the minimum here as well. Now in order to construct a histogram I'm going to need some frequencies. I want to know how many points, data points, fit into a certain interval. And how we're going to do this is we're going to create what's known here as bins. We're going to create some bins and in a sense pour the information or the data points we've got here into the bins. So here we've got a column for bins. Here's the data again, same one. And here I'm going to just create some bins and pour this in. Clearly I'm not going to create 13 bins because we already have the data in 13 different points. So it would be a nonsense to have 13 bins. What we want is less bins, so we're going to run the data into less. And where we start here, in fact we can start it anywhere. This is very flexible. We can just type in a number and that will get us started. In fact in the next column, in the next cell, we can type in a different number, a higher number and a higher number again. Just type them in, just whatever numbers you like to type in. You can be more methodical. I tend to start with the minimum value here, which is this one here, and that is C19. So the address for this particular cell is C19. I'm going to start there, so my bin is going to start there. I'm going to start with equals C19, simple as that, and that gives me the the starting point. Now I also like to use all the data up, so I'm going to try and incorporate all of this data into the bins. So I'm going to just add a little expression in here which will do that for me. This one. So I'm going to start with D4, which is here, D4. So it's the minimum value we've got. I'm going to add the difference between the maximum C18 and C19, which is the minimum. So it's the maximum minus the minimum. So if you like, that's the range of the data. And it's divided by C17, which is the count, which is 13. And I'm actually halving the count, so it's not actually 13, it's more like 6. The reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to use all the 13 slots here for bins. As I said, it would be silly because I've already got them in 13 points. So if I just drag this down, just drag it down a little, we could stop it here, I suppose. Now here we've got it goes up to 284. The top figure is 266. That's 248. So I do need that one. So now I've got my bins. So that's how we calculate the bins. But as I said, you could enter any figures you want here. You can create the bins yourself. You could have, the first one could be 32,000, the second one could be 50,000, the next one could be 70,000. 120,000. Just type it in and you have created the bins accordingly. What we need to do next is to work out the frequency. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to make a column here for frequency. Make it a little wider as well, I think. Oops. Okay, so it's this is our frequency column. Now how we do this is, again, I'm going to use Excel to produce the frequency for each of these bins. And up here I'm just simply going to type equals frequency. And you'll see, if I just move the cursor down here, you'll see a long explanation here of what this is all about. So I'm not going to go through that, but it just tells us what the frequency command here is. I find it more useful just to type in the first bracket, and here it tells me now I've got frequency and I want the data array, comma, the bins array. So I got two sets going in here. So the data array, I'm going to start with the data array, and the data array starts here with this one. And it goes all the way down to Volkswagen down here, so I'm just going to select that. So what I've got now is the data array is entered. Now I'm going to put a comma. Now I want the bin array, and the bin array is, it starts here and it goes down to there, and I'm going to close. Now, one way to be sure about what's happening here, and you're not going to lose what you just typed in, is to copy that. Because what I want to do here is to let's just delete that. What I want to do here is to select some cells. This is runs on a different type of command to what we're probably used to. It's an array we're entering. So what we need to do here is to go up here, paste in this, which we've got, and now use Control, Shift, and Enter. Control, Shift, Enter. Press all of them together. And when we've done that, we just put those in the middle so we can see it. When we've done that, we've got the frequency. There's the frequencies. So it tells me that in this bin here, 68,592, between the first bin and this one, there are 6 different points. We can count them if you don't believe it. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. Exactly as counted. So we've worked out the frequency. The tricky part there was to remember to highlight the cells first, then type in the formula above, or in my case I just pasted it back in, and then remembering, do not hit the return. The temptation is to hit the return key. Don't do it. Instead, Alt, Shift and Return together, and all the cells will fill automatically. So now we've got the frequency. Now we need to add our histogram. Now to do this, we're going to use a little add-in to Excel, and this is if we go here to insert, no, sorry, big problem. Go to data. We have an add-in called data analysis. It's right at the end of this ribbon here. It's right down at the end. You can't see it because I haven't. I'm not videoing that far down. But if we carried on down here, you would find data analysis. If you don't find it, you can add it very, very simply. Simply click on the file tab up here. Then I'll just click on it to show you where it is. If you click on the file tab and then go to options and then go to add-ins, and you will find the analysis tool pack, and just click OK, and that will get you the add-in you need, which is called data analysis. So let's click on data analysis, and when we click on it we get this box. We're here interested in histogram. It's already highlighted, so I'll click OK. Now I'm going to here to type in the data, the input range and the bin range. So the range we're looking at here is the input range is, well, we can do it in 2 ways. We could go back to the raw sales data, or we can use the bins. So let's stick with the bins and go with the first one is there and the last one is here. Sorry, easier to do this one. Go there and here. That's it. Now the bin range. The bin range is the second point, second one here. So we'll just click out of here, close that for a second, and we'll click here, hold the Shift key down, and enter that one. And we're going to have a new worksheet. We'll open it in a new worksheet, and we'll get the chart to see what it looks like. It won't look very impressive because we haven't got a lot of data, but let's see what it does look like. So we click OK here, and there we go. I said it wasn't very impressive, and as you can see, I was not joking. So there are our different points. This is our histogram. These are our frequencies. Here's the bin. We can see there are 6 items here and 6 here, and there's 68,592, and there's 6 there. Some have no frequencies. 212,842 doesn't have anything. It's there, it doesn't have anything. These have 1s. So that's how to construct a histogram using Excel. Now, that's how we got to it. If we wanted to use charts, and sometimes charts seem to have more information and much more easily constructed, certainly give a quicker picture and easy to do, as I said. What we could do with the chart is simply just highlight all of this and just go to we can go to home here, columns, do 2 columns, and let's just pick that over here, make it a little bigger. Sorry, there you go. And you can see here it's giving me the actual amount of the sales for BMW, the actual amount of the sales for Citroën and for Fiat and for Ford. It tells me who were the big sellers and who were the smaller sellers. At the very end here I've still got count, max and min. I should have really deleted those because they don't mean anything. But when you're doing it, just knock off those last 3 because it's not relevant here. But Volkswagen is our last one, which is 132,850, and there it is. So charts are a neat way of presenting the data, whereas the histogram gives us frequencies and puts it into bins. And that's all we're going to deal with here. We should now be able to draw a histogram, and should also have a gentle introduction to the use of charts. But that's all we're going to do, so we'll leave it at that and say thank you for watching.